one of the things I'm always aware of in Holyoke is it's got a relatively robust energy economy from the dam. How does the CHP product that you vend, how does it interact with that at all? Because one of the things I've always kind of thought is that you've got this very set energy solution in Holyoke, and I'm kind of curious about CHP's niche.
Sure. Well, one of the things that attracted me to Holyoke was the idea that it was a birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, and it had energy infrastructure in that it had water power, significant water power. And as a result of that water power, we realized there was inexpensive electricity, which was helpful in our cost in providing our product to our end users. So our product is cogeneration or combined heat and power, and as a result of cogeneration or combined heat and power, we're able to reduce customers' energy costs. So we're very conscious of energy cost, and being in an environment where our product complemented the energy infrastructure that was involved here in the city of Holyoke, we felt was a great place for us to grow our business.
Is an advantage rather than like a disadvantage or a stultifying.
Correct.
That's cool.
That's correct.
I wouldn't have imagined that. So CHP as an energy generation thing, what are the primary buyers? What are the primary customer base for it? Is it domestic or is
so
it
our market base is in the U.S.
Right.
And we geographically cover the whole U.S. But we're predominantly in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic states, and California. And the reason for those three markets is because that's where electric rates are the highest.
That makes sense.
And that's our product makes electricity, so if we can displace higher cost electricity, we provide a better economic payback to the customer to purchase our product.
Is there a threshold of the size of the entity you're selling to? For example, is it usually like a very large multifamily residence? Is it a single family residence? Is it like a corporate entity?
So multifamily housing is one of the markets that's a significant market for us. And so we will go after a building that will be somewhere between 80 apartments and greater, and that's where these products will make the most sense. We install them in buildings that have 1,000 apartments.
And so it'd be one of these guys.
One of these machines. So we're in so we'll take this machine itself. Will probably serve heat and hot water and electricity for approximately 125 apartments.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah,
that's a huge cost.
Right.
Yeah.
And so here we're on our test stand. We have two machines, and these two machines are again probably capable of 250 to 300 apartments worth of heat, hot water, and electricity. The idea of cogeneration is two outputs from one input. Right. In our case, we cogenerate energy by taking natural gas into an engine. The engine's coupled to a generator, making electricity, which is generated in parallel with the grid. But at the same time, the engine is giving off heat, and we're capturing that heat in the form of hot water and piping or delivering that heat into the building to make heat and hot water simultaneously.
Hence why it's such a huge advantage for these multifamily units that have a very big hot water need.
Heat and hot water need, yes.
Exactly.
The other market that's prevalent for our product is healthcare.
Yes.
All right, because healthcare has a residential component to it.
Right, exactly.
So
and therefore 24-hour heating.
24-hour heating and hot water, whether it's a hospital, a nursing care facility, an assisted living center, those are all good applications because they are residential in nature. The other types of facilities that are great for us are recreational facilities such as YMCAs or JCCs or any college athletic center that has a swimming pool, because swimming pools are huge heat sinks. And so you have to heat them year round. Even in the summer, you're heating a swimming pool.
Really?
And in an indoor building, because you're trying to control the climate. So they're always dehumidifying the climate, and you need to control the temperature of the pool and the air so that you don't, so that the evaporation rates are minimized.
That makes sense to me.
So pool facilities are great applications as well. So we have a base of customers that stretch from the New England market down to New York City, down to Washington, D.C. And again, that geography is because that's where electric rates are the highest.
So if you wouldn't mind, can we walk to the exterior, the outside model that you had on display? That's around this corner here?
We can. We'll just walk this way?
Yeah.
Okay. The museum market is also another market for us too. And because the museums need temperature control 24 hours a day, seven days a week.
Right.
So that's another great market for us.
Okay.
So one of our big customers is the National Archives in Washington, D.C., where we help temperature control the Constitution.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah, so we have several units in a couple of the National Archives, both in Washington and in College Park, Maryland. and we have the new Whitney Museum in New York City. We have a system in there. So museums are a great market for us as well. So the evolution of our business goes back into the 80s when I started the business with my father. We started in the basement of my parents' home and in an adjoining town. And as a result of starting the business, we occupied the basement, and after about a decade in the basement, my mother kicked us out of the house and said, it's time to move on. So we moved to the city of West Springfield, and we occupied a building there for 10 years. In 2005, we then moved to the city of Holyoke and moved into the Jackson Street facility here, where we're at. We've been here for about 10 years, but it seems like every 10 years we outgrow the facility that we're in. And sure enough, around 2015, 2016, we really had to come up with a plan with how we would accommodate the growth of the business. And so I went to talk with the Office of Economic Development as to how we could grow in the city of Holyoke rather than move into another community. And so they were very accommodating, and we talked about the Parsons Paper Project as a means to help us grow and stay within Holyoke and grow new jobs and add to the tax base in Holyoke as a result of staying in the community. Mm-hmm. So we worked with John Dijak and Marcos Moreros to help create a remediation plan for the existing Parsons parcel, and allow us could then take possession of it so that we could then grow our business into the new building, as well as add more employment for the community.
So is that, and the way you described this before, my feeling is that that's both the solar field and the Parsons project are both on this contiguous parcel, and that remediation covers both of them.
That is correct. The remediation project was for the whole parcel, and but on part of the land we did locate a 1 megawatt solar field on the parcel for land that we could not utilize. But on we did keep an existing structure in place, about 40,000 square feet of structure, which we then utilized for our future expansion plans. Holyoke has energy.